Here's the thing. Having no friends doesn't necessarily indicate an avoidant personality. Rather, it's the pattern of repeatedly initiating then avoiding relationships that signals avoidance. Consider this type of person. They may be emotionally sensitive and highly perceptive, yet you'll notice that after graduating and moving to a different city for work, they rarely contact their family or even their closest childhood friends. Once the immediate connection fades, they won't even send a simple message. This is characteristic of an avoidant personality. These individuals can adapt anywhere and befriend anyone, yet they never truly let others into their inner world. They're independent and mysterious, struggling with intimate relationships and finding it difficult to form deep connections. What causes this? During their formative years from birth to age 6, they experienced neglect, followed by suppression during adolescence. Their caregivers failed to provide sufficient love and security, leading them to develop an inherent skepticism toward interpersonal relationships and struggle with trust. Due to their subconscious disappointment with their parents early in life, they were forced to develop an avoidant personality that refuses to depend on others. Friends and romantic partners often perceive them as cold and distant, but in reality, they're simply slow to warm up to others. Those who manage to form deep connections with them are typically childhood friends, old classmates, or long-term friends. Without a decade of shared history, it's challenging to develop a close relationship with them. However, once they accept you as a friend, the bond is lifelong. They would go to great lengths to help such a friend, yet once separated, they seem to vanish completely. The same applies to their parents. After leaving home, they rarely feel homesick or miss their parents, perhaps making contact only a few times a year. Why are they so detached? From a psychological perspective, there are two main reasons. The first is fusion anxiety. In psychological terms, fusion anxiety centers on the fear of establishing deep connections with others. When relationships begin to truly merge, they worry about losing their sense of control and autonomy. This means they must sacrifice part of themselves to accommodate others. For instance, their reluctance to return to their original family stems from the constraints they'll face there, knowing they'll face criticism if they don't comply. Those with a profound sense of inner deficiency are particularly susceptible to feeling engulfed or having their boundaries violated by others' actions. Due to their distant, early relationship with their parents, they develop anxiety and fear of being hurt when relationships become too close. The early experiences of belittlement, suppression, and criticism from their parents created a fixed mindset that getting too close to others leads to pain. They're more comfortable with maintaining moderate distances in relationships, such as occasional friendships or long-distance romantic partnerships. However, when they sense someone becoming too attached, fusion anxiety emerges. They need to maintain relationships at a level that doesn't trigger their anxiety, which is why they often struggle with the high degree of fusion required in romantic and family relationships. You might notice that their closest relationships are often with good friends. When facing difficulties, they're more likely to confide in these friends rather than romantic partners. They know friends won't interfere with their life choices, and this subtle sense of boundaries prevents fusion anxiety, making friendships more comfortable for them. The second is separation anxiety. While separation anxiety is commonly associated with anxious personalities, avoidant personalities experience it too. Those who have interacted with avoidant personalities may notice their intense fear and self-doubt when facing sudden separation. They feel a loss of control and experience severe anxiety, though this remains internal. Unlike those with anxious personalities, they don't display these feelings openly. Typically, anxious personalities actively resist separation when it looms. In contrast, avoidant personalities respond to anxiety by self-isolating and blocking out potential hurt. Rather than begging others not to leave, they manage separation anxiety by lowering their expectations. For example, when feeling unloved, they might preemptively end relationships with cold detachment, or when needing parental support but receiving none, they convince themselves they don't need parental love and can rely solely on themselves. This mindset makes avoidant personalities remarkably resilient, capable of surviving independently and often achieving success in society. However, the cost is the long-term suppression of their emotional needs and a cessation of actively seeking affection. Their reluctance to initiate contact with friends and family serves as a shield against both fusion and separation anxiety. While avoidant personalities can endure solitude, they cannot bear to relive the pain of deprivation. If you know someone with an avoidant personality, never pressure them. They prioritize maintaining dignity over showing vulnerability to others. If you enjoyed this series, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your free likes are the greatest encouragement for me. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.